They had the eventual all-time single-season leading rusher in Anthony Hawthorne. No one realized that half a dozen freshmen and sophomores would be vital keys to the season. No one realized that the offense would improve by 17 points per game from last year. But here they are. It's Black Friday, and the Dogs are doing some shopping of their own here in Tyler, looking for the perfect gift of a gold trophy and go where no Bulldog team has ever gone before. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tyler, Texas, here at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Monty Walker along with Michael Mosier. Michael, we're up way high here in Tyler, Texas. Have a great view of the whole playing field. What we hope tonight is a great view of a Bulldogs celebration at the end of this football game.
Yes, sir. I hope they do very well.
I think what we'll have tonight is a tremendous offensive showdown between both teams. The Waskom Wildcats have scored over 600 points this year, which is almost twice what Howe has scored. And even though you talk about Howe setting all kinds of rushing records and offensive records for those categories, Waskom even more impressive. Listen to these numbers they've put up. They lost their first football game 28-20. Since then, they've scored 63, 49, 49, 63, 34, 57, 49, 56, 63, 48, and last week 52 against Leonard in the area championship. They score points, and they do it all the time. And if you turn the ball over, they will make you pay.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of hard running tonight on both sides of the ball.
We had a chance to talk to head coach Zach Hudson, and we'll let you listen to the coaches show coming up here in just a moment on HowEnterprise.com.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. They're open from 11 to 8, Monday through Saturday. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Hi, this is Chris Cavender. The holidays are around the corner. Call Cavender Home Theater to get that new TV or audio system delivered and set up by our professionals. We can deliver all that plus dish with one visit by our top-notch team of installers, so you know it's done right. Competitive prices, local service you can depend on. Come see us at 6202 Texoma Parkway in Sherman, online at cavenderht.com, or give us a call, 903-892-3499. Local service is always better. Go Bulldogs!
Welcome to the Bulldogs Coaches Show, featuring Howe Athletic Director and Head Coach Zach Hudson.
Coach, area champions with a 50-32 win last week over Hughes Springs. Your goal was to play 3 deep. Here we are. What's the new goal?
Well, now it's, you just got to win. To get 3 deep, you got to do some things right along the way, but you also have to play, dominant football. You got to hustle to the ball and play with guys sometimes and overcome injuries like we have. And when you get 3 deep, everybody's good, and you're going to have to play a perfect game every week to win. And so, our goal now is to win, period, and that's all that's left to do.
Last week was a seesaw game going back and forth until a special teams play miscue for Hughes Springs. Talk about that and how important special teams are.
Well, every team you face now is going to be good. Every aspect of the game is going to come into play in the game. It was huge. It changed momentum. We scored 30 points there in the second quarter due to that, and then they fumbled right afterwards. And so, it was just a big turning point. Our defense got some confidence and started playing well after that. I think they had 70 yards of total offense after that miscue. So, it gave everybody some confidence right there and let us jump on them, and that's what you have to do.
Kind of a strange week schedule-wise around Thanksgiving. Talk about that, and what was the schedule like this week?
Well, we just practice in the morning, try to get the kids up out of bed, don't let them lay around. And then on Thanksgiving, we practice in the morning, then we have all the families up here for a brunch, and then we let everybody go. But it's just a special time, and give thanks, and thanks you're here, and you're able to spend some time with these kids even more and their families, and wanting everybody to enjoy this time of year.
Last week we were talking about Tyler Grisham and the impact he made on the Cooper game. This past week it was Brandon Wall and his impact. Talk about him.
Well, I think it's a credit to our offense, our offensive line, credit to Anthony, all of them, because if you try to shut one down, another one's going to appear. And it's been that way all year, and that's what we expect to do.
And speaking of sophomores and freshmen, talk about them. There's so many of them. The future's got to be bright here.
Well, it is. We counted, 8 guys we have to replace, this following year, which is a good number to have to replace from a team that's going deep in the playoffs. But everybody's important, and you always lose a little bit. Sometimes you gain a little bit every year, but these freshmen and sophomores stepped up to play big time, and you couldn't ask anything more than that.
The opponent tonight, Waskom, they've won 11 straight. Talk about them, and they seem to show a little bit of a veer toward you on the offense.
They're a good football team. Everybody's good. So we have to play our defense. We have to play our offense, and whoever plays a almost perfect game is going to win. And we have to show up, and the good thing is we're hungry. I feel like our kids are hungry and they have some confidence. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
What do you think the keys to victory are tonight?
We got to hang on to football. Most of their wins, they separate themselves from Leonard to everybody. They separated themselves on turnovers. And so we have to hold on to football and not give them easy scores.
Coming into this season, did you see this team as a 3-deep team?
I try to see every team like that. I think I cut the kids short if I don't. So that's our goal. We hit our goal, but now the goal is to win, and that's all that's left to do.
This has been the Bulldogs Coaches Show featuring Howe Athletic Director and Head Coach Zach Hudson. For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
GCEC Wireless, located in Van Alstyne off of Exit 51, can help you with all your Verizon wireless needs. They have a wide range of products and services, including smartphones, wireless home and mobile internet, wireless home phone service, and accessories. They're also your local DirecTV dealer. So come on by or call them at 903-712-2355. That's GCEC Wireless. And go Bulldogs!
Welcome back to Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Say that about half a dozen times, and that would be a little bit tricky. Let's go over the starting lineup for Howe. Up front, on offense, left tackle Josh Griffin, the left guard Charles Overby, the center Tanner Hartsfield, the right guard Kiefer Rogers, the right tackle Clay Marshall, and the tight end Matt Griffin. The quarterback tonight, Joaquin Lopez, as always. He'll be sending the slot back, which would be Brandon Wall, the sophomore, who had a big week last week. 11 carries, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Caleb Ake will be split out wide. And also in the backfield will be Tyler Grisham, 5'11", 200-pound sophomore. He has 594 yards on the season and 3 touchdowns. And Anthony Hawthorne, 5'10", 175, and a senior. He's the all-time single-season leading rusher for Howe with his 1,854 yards coming into tonight's game and 26 touchdowns, which is tied for the single-season high with Nathaniel Falls, who also had 26 back in 1998. Last week, Hawthorne had 27 carries for 242 yards, which is an 8.9-yard average. And that's what Stephen Ogle, a former Bulldog great, was talking about last week. He was most impressed with Hawthorne's yards per carry. Last week, Hawthorne had 5 touchdowns on the ground, and that also tied a school record. We'll go over the starting defense for the Wildcats.
All right, you got Trey Stevens, Dylan Benton, Keelan Johnson, John Lumpkin, Mike Reason, Junebug Johnson, and yes, that is correct, Kevin Johnson, Shane Amy, Kyle Adams. Let's talk about him for just a second. He's 6'4", 285-pound middle linebacker.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Lucan Norton and Cullen Ditmore.
All right, let's go over the starting defense for Howe. Up front, Jacob Taylor, 5'10", 190 freshman. Tristan Matthews, we call him Stump because he's 5'9", 215. He's a junior. Austin Bearden, 6'3", 250. He's a junior. And the left defensive end, Mike Helpenstell, 5'10", 225. He's a sophomore. A lot of youngsters on defense. The two that are not youngsters are Quentin Harris and Easton Ross. They play at each corner. You'll also see Nick Wilson, 5'10", 160. He's a junior. The linebackers tonight, Dalton Felder, 5'8", 170, a junior, and Dylan Moreau, 5'9", 190, a freshman. Also, Andrew Griffin, 5'9", 180. He's also a freshman. You'll also see Tyler Grisham at times at linebacker. He's 5'11", 200. He's a sophomore. Anthony Hawthorne, the senior, 5'10", 175. And Levi Merzinski, 6'1", 165, junior, is the weak safety. So you can see there's tons of underclassmen there. 3 seniors, 4 juniors, 1 sophomore, and 3 freshman starters on the Howe defense. Let's go over the starting offense for the Waskom Wildcats.
Left tackle John Lumpkin. Left guard Matt Norris. Center Tony Ratcliffe. Right guard Kyle Adams. Right tackle Jeremy D'Agostino. Close?
Sure. D'Agostino.
There we go. Wide receiver Trey Stevens. Quarterback Trace Carter. Wide receiver Mike Reason. Slot back Junebug Johnson. Fullback Dylan Benton, and slot back Kevin Johnson.
While we're talking about the Waskom Wildcats, they are head coached by Whitney Keeling. He's from Kilgore. He went to Stephen F. Austin and then got his first coaching job as an assistant at Jacksonville, then went to Kilgore, his hometown, where they won state in 2004. He then went to Pleasant Grove and now is in his 4th season as head coach at Waskom. He led the Wildcats to a 14-1 record and a berth in the Class 2A Division II state semifinals last year. Keeling is 33-24 in 5 seasons at Waskom, but that includes an 0-10 mark in 2012 when the Wildcats won 7 games but had to forfeit all of the wins due to the use of an ineligible player. Waskom bounced back in a big way last year, earning the program's first playoff berth since 1982. The number 7 is the amount of playoff wins that Waskom has had in the last 2 years. It was 6 prior to that. Number of wins, or number of times Waskom scored at least 60 points in a game since 2013. Well, that's 8. 8 times in the last 2 years they've scored 60 or more. Unbelievable. Yeah. Waskom's lowest scoring total of 2013 was 24. That came in a 24-22 win over Corrigan Camden in the 4th quarter, or in the 4th round rather. And so far this year, the lowest they've scored is 20, and that being the opening game of the week when they lost to Center, 28-20. On the other side, head coach Zach Hudson. He's from Rockwall, Texas. His wife is Carrie. She's a former head volleyball coach. They have 2 daughters, Kai and Bodie, 7 and 4. He went to Navarro College and then Texas A&M Commerce, where he played football at both schools. His record at Howe now is 10-12. He's the 25th head coach in Howe history. His coaching stops at Garland Lakeview, at Weimer as the defensive coordinator, then went to LaGrange as the defensive coordinator, and then back to Weimer as the head coach and athletic director. And then he got the job here in Howe last year as the head coach and athletic director. Last week he passed Wesley Cox, Alfred Clayton, Arthur Boyle, and Corey Crane on the all-time wins list. Next up is Terry Davis with 11. So one more win tonight with time with Terry Davis. Howe's overall record is 362, 332, and 24 ties. This is season number 71 and game number 719 in school history. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more Howe Bulldog football on HoweEnterprise.com.
Think back to the best fried pie you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. They have handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 903-712-PIES. That's 903-712-7437. Sweetie Pies can also make custom Howe cookies, muffins, and other baked goods. Winter is here early, and it's extremely important to have your car's cooling system and brake systems checked before the bad weather hits. At 4A Automotive, you can check out all of their monthly specials on their new website at 4aautomotive.com. 4A Automotive is a bumper-to-bumper automotive shop. They do it all, from autos to diesels, and they're front-end specialists, too. So call 4A Automotive today at 903-546-0024. They're located 4 miles east of Howe at the corner of FM 902 and Luella Road.
We shouldn't even be here. I told the kids all week, we have no pressure on us. They got all the pressure. They're the 4th-ranked team in the state. Went this deep last year, went another round last year. So we ain't even supposed to be here. So we got to play like that, just have fun and play like we have nothing to lose, because we really don't.
It's awesome. The whole town's backing us up. If we get this W, we'll break history. So hopefully, we got to play our best and we'll be all right.
Well, that was Joaquin Lopez and offensive coordinator Dale West that we had a chance to talk to this morning. And, talking about breaking history, the Howe Bulldogs last time in a regional championship game was 1990. That's when Howe played Mart at Pennington Field. And I happened to get to play in that game for a little bit until I turned my ankle. But there wasn't much of a game for Howe, as it was 28-0. Mart won on points, as the Herald Democrat read the following Sunday, because Howe had tied Salina 14-14, advanced on penetrations. The following week in the area championship, tied Alney, advanced on first downs, and then lost 28-0. So Howe lost on points. It's a very, very clever title, I thought, by the Herald Democrat back in the day.
Yeah, that's things have changed so much now, though.
It certainly has. It certainly has, and it's been a while since that game. Matter of fact, Howe does have a regional championship title. Now, they only had to win 2 games to get that. Back in 1970, Howe won by district over Lone Oak, 21-12. And then turned around and played Windthorst for the regional championship. So back then in Class B ball, there was no area championship. Howe played 2 rounds, won both of them, and there was no advancement past regional. So, the Bulldogs of 1970, they'll tell you, we would have won state. If we could have gone and played the other regions, we would have won. But there's just no way to know, and what a sad thing that is. And I believe we're in a moment of silence here.
Thank you. Now please remain standing for the Howe School Song.
As you hear there, Howe's about to have their school song.
You can hear a pin drop on that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Howe Bulldogs playoff record is 11-15-3 overall, going back to 1938. The very first playoff game for Howe was against Anna, and that was at Old Panther Stadium in Van Alstyne. And Anna actually won the game on the field 7-6. However, they used an ineligible player, and Howe protested the game and actually were awarded the by-district championship on December the 2nd, 1938. And I'm sure Mr. Mosier had something to do with that ineligible player. It's probably your great-grandfather or something, right?
It probably was. Probably was.
Howe's, other than that, Howe's first actual win on the field was that 1970 game against Lone Oak, 21-12. I believe that game was in McKinney. The most playoff games in a year, 3. 1985, 1989, 1990, and here we are, 2014. Most points in a game, 50. That was last week against Hughes Springs. Most points given up in a game is 46. That was to Louisville back in 1940. These are playoff numbers we're giving you. The last time Howe was shut out was in 2010 versus New Boston, 35-0. The last time the Howe Bulldogs shut out an opponent in the playoffs was 1985. That was against Grand Saline. The most wins versus an opponent, well, all 11 wins are against 11 different opponents. But Howe has lost to Farmersville 3 times. The most rushing yards in a game, that came close to being broke last week. The record 272 by Clint Bray versus Royce City in 1989. Hawthorne had a whole bunch last week. Most rushing touchdowns in a game. Hawthorne broke that one. It was 4 by Bray and Nathaniel Falls, but Hawthorne had 5 last week. That eclipsed that mark. Most passing yards in a game, 196 by Clint Grogan versus Boyd in 1998 due to a rather long receiving touchdown by Heath Horton of 81 yards. That's pretty much why Grogan holds that record. Most passing touchdowns in a game, in a playoff game, is 3 by Jay Skipworth versus Royce City in 1989. And the best passing completion percentage in a game is 69.23. That's Rick Hanning versus Lone Oak in 1970. Longest rushing touchdown in playoff history is 80 yards. Stephen Ogle versus Pilot Point in 1986. And the longest field goal, 35 yards. Stephen Hawthorne versus Electra in 1989. And also, Charlie Komorowski hit a 35-yarder against Farmersville in 2000. The most wins by a head coach, Jim Fryer, has 4. He also has 4 losses to lead the Howe Bulldogs. Zach Hudson has 3 and knocking on that door. Most playoff games started by a starter, by a player. Monty Walker and John Norwood each had 7 playoff games started. The most overall playoff points scored is Stephen Ogle. He has 42, although I might have to do some checking on that. Hawthorne, let's see, he had 30 last week, and I know he had 12 against Cooper. Actually, I think he's tied. I may have to check that one. Most overall touchdowns, Stephen Ogle 7, but Hawthorne also has 7 now. Telling you, Hawthorne is breaking a lot of records. Most career touchdowns overall, Nathaniel Falls has 41, Billy Bryant Cloud 32, and Hawthorne right behind both of those guys at 31. Most career rushing yards since 1980, Randy Gear just under 3,000, but it's assumed that he had 3,400. Only 2,945 could be researched in the newspaper articles, but he had another 500 more than that for sure. Anthony Hawthorne next at 2,779 yards, just past Nathaniel Falls with 2,484 yards, and just behind Falls is Stephen Ogle, 2,214 yards. Most yards in a single game ever, playoff or not. Garrett Griffin in 2012 had 310 yards rushing against Whitewright. Towner Bailey had 296 yards in 2010, and then Anthony Hawthorne's 292 earlier this year. So lots of records falling for the Howe Bulldogs in this first year of the slot T. And you knew things would change when Coach Dale West got here. And basically what Howe wants to do is run, and not even attempt one pass unless it's like a halfback pass.
You're right. And it's working. And, you know, listening to the coaches show on both sides, I think I'm ready to go play football. Let's go.
I'm ready. Here come your Howe Bulldogs. Lots of fans made it across the way to Tyler, Texas from Howe tonight as a pretty good crowd showed up. Pretty good crowd on the near side too from Waskom. They didn't have to travel quite that far. Not near as far as the 2.5 hours that the Bulldogs had to. And here come the Waskom Wildcats. We're on the home side, so you'll hear the home crowd. They are carrying about half a dozen flags that have their W logo, just as their helmet. Their helmet actually this year is maroon and white. It has one giant white stripe on the top. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on a helmet. Very, very different. But they have maroon on the side and a giant white stripe down the middle with the white W on the side of the helmet. The Howe Bulldogs in all white again tonight for the third straight week in the playoffs. White pants, white jerseys, black helmets, and black socks. We're ready for the national anthem. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with more Howe Bulldog football on HoweEnterprise.com.
The Waskom High School marching.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic and Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only, where you get great food and big smiles. And a little message for all our Howe football players. Go, Bulldogs fight, Bulldogs win, win, win. 'Cause it's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Have a loose wire? Maybe you want to install a new light fixture or wall outlet. Even bigger projects are no problem for Jim Jackson Electrical Services. You need a local electrician that's experienced but isn't going to break the bank. Jim Jackson Electrical Services is just that. Don't wait until it's too late. Jim Jackson Electrical Services is the electrician for you. Visit TexomaElectrician.com. Our victory light is entrusted to Jim Jackson Electrical Services. You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is playoff football time in Texas.
That's
In
right.
Tyler, Texas, as the captains are making their way out on the field. And for Waskom, it will be Trace Carter, their quarterback, Kevin Johnson, Junebug Johnson, and also John Lumpkin. For Howe, it'll be Joaquin Lopez, Anthony Hawthorne, Charles Overby, and Easton Ross. They're shaking hands at midfield.
Johnson, number 3, Trace Carter, number 5.
And
Johnson.
the officials are talking now. We'll see what happens here. You'd kind of, if you're Howe, in this game, I think you want the football. If you win the toss, I think you're going to have to want it. And normally, you'd kind of want to defer because Howe would have the better defense, but Waskom is so good offensively. I think at this point you're going to want to take the football and try to get on the board first here, but we'll see what happens. The official's still talking. Now they throw the coin up in the air. It hits the ground, and the official is talking to Waskom's quarterback Carter as they won the toss, and they've elected to defer. So Howe will get the football first because Waskom has deferred the coin toss. The Bulldogs, this stadium runs kind of northwest to southeast, and the Bulldogs will turn their backs to the northwest and will be going left to right here to start this football game. They will receive to start the game, and we're just about ready to get underway. The captains shake hands at midfield, and the kickoff return team is just about ready to come onto the field for the Howe Bulldogs. Again, Waskom has scored many points this year, over 600 to be exact, and that is a truckload of points. They've scored over 60 points 8 times in the last 2 years, which is just unheard of. They will put the ball in the end zone tonight. It's just going to happen. But if Howe's going to win this football game, they're going to have to stay with them offensively and not turn the ball over. That's how Waskom has won a lot of their games and really outstretched themselves from everybody else, is because they take the ball away and then they capitalize on it when they do. And tonight, the Howe Bulldogs are going to have to hang on to the football. And they're going to get an opportunity to start the game here as the kicker, Jose Chavarria, attempted to do the quail onside, but I think he's going to step back now and bang this one away. It's not going to be Chavarria. It's going to be an onside kick, and Tanner Hartsfield takes it at the 46-yard line. A great job by Hartsfield to jump on that football, and Howe will take over to start this football game at their own 46, moving left to right. Just underway.
I say you batten down the hatches. Here we go.
Everybody comes to the line. Here we go. And in motion. Joaquin Lopez goes under center. Sends Hawthorne in motion. Gives to him. Going far side. Almost tripped in the backfield. Cuts up. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Going to be second down and 10.
Dylan Benton made the stop for the Wildcats.
Just for a moment, the right defensive end looked like he got in there. Benton tripped him up a little bit, and Hawthorne just had to barely get out of that tackle and then make a move, cut up the field, but he barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10, left to right. Everybody tight right here. Lopez, handoff, Brandon Wall coming near side. He's got about 3 yards, maybe 2 at the 48.
Kevin Johnson and Dylan Benton made the stop.
Now don't freak out if Howe doesn't score on this first possession, because they haven't scored on their first possession a lot this year. Matter of fact, Howe's only scored 98 points in the first quarter. The second quarter is when they do their damage. 148 points in the second quarter. Howe is not a very good offensive second half team. They do their damage in the first half. Toss, right side, Hawthorne. He's got the 50, breaks out of a seam, dives forward to the 43-yard line. A first down for the Howe Bulldogs inside Waskom territory at the 41-yard line.
Kevin Johnson and Cullen Denton made the stop.
So with 10:47 on the first quarter clock and rolling, Howe with their first down of the night at the 41 of Waskom. And bringing in the play for the Bulldogs will be Zach Blevins. And Hartsfield breaks the huddle. And everybody follows out. Blevins split out wide left, not very wide, but he is wide left. Now he comes in motion to the near side. To the right. Hawthorne in motion. Lopez keeps it and falls forward to the 40, a gain of 1. Second down and 9 coming up.
Kyle Adams in on the stop for the Wildcats.
On the carry. Kyle Adams.
A moment ago, they ran the exact same formation, same motion across from Blevins, and Hawthorne went in motion. They handed it to him. This time they did not hand it to him, and Lopez kept it up the middle. And now checking into the game for the Howe Bulldogs is going to be Nick Wilson, and he'll be split out wide right. Lopez under center on second down and 9. Hawthorne the lone back. This will be a handoff. Hawthorne right guard. Lowers the shoulder and runs over one defender on his way to the 36-yard line. A gain of 3. And that'll set up a third down and 5 for Howe coming up with 9:22 on the clock.
Dylan Benton made the stop for the Wildcats. You know, Howe's telling them to bring that 285-pounder. We'll handle him for you.
Caleb Ake brings the play in, and he will be the tight end on the left side. Everybody tight again. Wall comes near side, looking for a block, gets a block, and is brought down after a gain of about 3. And this is usually 4-down territory for Howe, as the ball will be spotted at the 31-yard line, just short of the first down by about a half a yard. We'll see what Zach Hudson wants to do, but I imagine they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1 with 8:46 to go, and they're at the Waskom 31-yard line.
Chan Amy made the stop for the Wildcats.
Not too risky right here as Blevin brings the play in. But I would imagine you'd see Hawthorne somewhere over left to right guard right here. Lopez under center. He's going to hand Hawthorne right side. He jumps over barely has it. If he even does. He tripped right at the line of scrimmage. The official says first down. Move the stick.
He got lucky on that. He did trip. He just had enough momentum carrying him.
Just enough. Just enough. 8:17 on the clock. No score. We're just underway. Howe in their first possession received the kickoff as Waskom won the coin toss and deferred. So here's Howe moving left to right. Blevins in motion to the right side. Now Hawthorne goes in motion. They'll give to him again. Looking for a block. Gets a block. Is going to cut it out. Trying to beat the defender to the outside. And does for 5 yards. 26-yard line is where Hawthorne goes out of bounds with 7:55 on the first quarter clock.
Chan Amy made the stop.
And there is some beef on that defensive side of the ball for the Waskom Wildcats. Kyle Adams, 6'4", 285. He's a senior, and he's a big cat. Here comes the Bulldog. Here come the Bulldogs on 2nd down and 5. Man in motion is Wall. Handoff Hawthorne right side. Slipping out and slips through a couple of tackles for a gain of about 2, maybe 3. Right up the middle of a right guard. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and short. Or a 3rd down and short, rather. 3rd and 3 with 7:36 and rolling here in the first quarter.
Kyle Adams and Cullen Ditmore made the stop for the Wildcats.
Nick Wilson bringing in the play. Hartsville to the line of scrimmage. Howe chewing up the clock like they love to do. Everybody tight right here. Lopez under center. And whistles blow before this one can get underway. I think this is going to be a false start against Howe, as somebody moved just a little bit too quickly. And it is. It's against Howe. Legal procedure. That'll back it up 5. Instead of 3rd and 3, it'll be 3rd and 8. And in games like this, you just can't make mistakes like that. They're going to be very tough to overcome when you're facing an offense who hasn't had the ball yet. But when they get the ball, they do like to score, as they put 60 on the board just about every time they play. Seems like at least 50. 3rd and 8. Lopez under center. Handoff near side. That's Brandon Wall. He's got a seam. He busts through past the 25 to the 23. Going to be good for about 7 yards. Close to a first down, but maybe 1.5 yards short. And here we go again with another 4th down. This is going to be more like 2.
Cullen Ditmore made the stop for the Wildcats.
4th and 2 for Howe. Big play early on. 6:32 and rolling on the clock. Hartsville to the line. Grisham and Hawthorne in the backfield. Howe trying to draw him off sides and couldn't do it. Waskom held. And now a timeout has been called by Howe. We'll take 1-2. Back in a moment with more Howe Bulldog football on HoweEnterprise.com.
But to win the game.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
And the type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
The Howe Enterprise has served Howe as the hometown news since 1963. Since then, the Bulldogs have won 8 district, 7 by-district, 3 area championships, and 1 regional title. We've seen 14 different head coaches during that time. The Howe Enterprise has been with the Bulldogs for 51 years. We were there when the Pride of Howe won 3 band state championships.
Here we go. Howe Bulldogs are back on the field. Man in motion. Wall. This is going to be a handoff to Hawthorne, who's got the first down on his way to the 20-yard line. Right over right guard. Hawthorne just plowed his way for 2 yards. And they're not even going to have to pull the sticks here. That's a first down.
Anthony's running hard tonight.
Yeah, and a great job by Keeper Rogers as well. Working on John Lumpkin, the 6', 225 senior. Rogers did a great job of just clearing that for Hawthorne, as it'll be 1st and 10 now with 5:50. No score. First quarter. Wall, a quarterback, hands off Hawthorne, who's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. They'll actually give him the 17 on forward progress, and now they'll back it up to the 18. So a gain of about 4.
Wildcat
3 rather. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
The Wildcat defensive line, we're just going to give credit for all that.
Blevins brings in the play on 2nd down and 9. 5:20 on the clock. Howe's taken half of the first quarter clock on this very first drive. Waskom has not touched the football yet. Lopez wants to throw wide open. In the end zone is Brandon Wall, and he just overthrows him by a step. Wall was wide open. All he had to do was run underneath it, but he couldn't make the catch just outside of his outstretched arms. And it'll be 3rd down and 7. Beautiful play call, as he was all alone, but Lopez just missed him. had a little bit of Romo in him from yesterday's game.
Yeah.
Romo just off yesterday, and Lopez was just off right there. 5:05 on the clock. Man in motion is Hawthorne. He gets the carry. Trying to find that outside corner. Slips the defender to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Kiss him goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas. 18 yards for Anthony Hawthorne. And the Bulldogs are on the board first here in this regional championship game.
Good job, good job, good job. Hey, look here. We can watch it on the Jumbotron. Replay. Look here.
That's the great thing about these playoff games and these big stadiums is you get fancy stuff like that.
Right. Well, instant replay. If we ever don't know what down it is, all we got to do is look at the board.
Here's Honecker, the freshman, on for the PAT. Easton Ross to hold. It's on the tee. The kick is up. Looks like it's pretty good. And it's real good. 7-0, Howe in the lead. We'll be back with more Howe Bulldog football.
Carrie's Coffee Company in historic downtown Van Alstyne, next to the post office, is the new upscale coffee shop serving Van Alstyne, Howe, and surrounding areas. Carrie's Coffee Company offers a wide variety of organic coffee and non-coffee beverages and baked goods. Come visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne, next to the post office, and mention this ad and get 50% off your first beverage. Open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 7 a.m. on Saturdays. Carrie's Coffee Company is Texas quality.
Your business has a story to tell. Let Fast Signs help you tell it using the right mix of visual communication solutions like signs, banners, digital displays, vehicle graphics, mobile marketing, and so much more. Give Fast Signs your business challenge and we'll come up with a plan to grow your business, reach more customers, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs.
Fast Signs Texoma, located at 1916 North Grand Avenue in Sherman. 903-893-SIGN.
Here's an onside kick by Howe, and it's going to be, I believe, recovered by Waskom at the 44-yard line. Anthony Hawthorne is now your all-time single season leading touchdown maker, I guess you will. I don't know how to say that. He has 27 touchdowns now. Nobody else has ever had that many. Nathaniel Falls had 26.
How about we just say he the man?
I'll go with that. Now Waskom has finally their first turn after Howe scores on a 7-minute drive. Waskom toss left side. That's Kevin Johnson on the carry, and he is very shifty, and he's good for 5 yards on this very first play.
I will say, though, he was doing a little juggling there of that ball because Tanner Hartsfield almost took it away from him.
What an impressive, very impressive 7-minute drive to start the game. And Howe wanted the football first. They got the football. Took 7 minutes and 2 seconds off the clock. And Anthony Hawthorne scored on an 18-yard touchdown. Howe leads 7-0. Here's Junebug Johnson who gets the carry on the right side. And he barely trips over the grass at the 40-yard line. He was gone, but he tripped over the white line at the 40.
Yeah, and I think Easton might have tried to tie his shoe for him as he went by. Whew, he'd like to have been gone, but Easton got him.
That would have been tie ball game, but we'll give Easton Ross the credit on the tackle, but I'm not sure that white chalk got him.
Well, it might have.
First and 10. This will be a handoff up the middle, and good enough for about 6 or 7 yards is Waskom, and they are really, really fast. Dylan Benton on the carry, 702 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns, and
Andrew Griffin made the stop for the Bulldogs. You know, looking at those, you know, our stuff that we got earlier in the week, they've got 5 guys that are running, you know, 600 plus.
They can hit you from all directions. They run 2 slots and 1 tailback. The slot goes in motion. Toss to the fullback this time, coming near side. And Benton is trying to find the outside edge, and he slips out of bounds after a nice tackle by Nick Wilson. That's going to be Dylan Benton on the carry. Actually, that's not Benton. That is Chan Amy on the carry, and he gets enough for the first down at the Howe 25-yard line. The Waskom Wildcats, they go under center. They act like they're going to run a play, and then they step back, look at the sideline, actually get the play, and now they come back to the line of scrimmage. Man in motion. This is going to be a handoff to Amy again. Oh, This is going to be a keeper by Carter along the right side. He's got enough for a first down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Tanner Hartsfield made the stop for the Bulldogs.
They do not take much time scoring. They haven't all year, and it looks like they're on their way right here already to the 19. They took the ball at their own 44. And here's a toss right side. Junebug Johnson. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. Is met at the 2 and brought down there by Anthony Hawthorne. And looks like a first and goal situation coming up from the 2-yard line.
Goal for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Anthony Hawthorne made this stop. And, you know, we've said it all year long. If your safety's making the stops, you're doing something wrong at the front.
So here we are already. Waskom trying to punch it in here as Carter will go under center. Sends a man in motion, and he's going to keep it himself. He's in. Touchdown, Waskom. So with 2:31 on the clock, Howe takes 7 minutes to score, and Waskom takes 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And we'll see Mr. Chavarria, if he can bang this one through, he'll tie the football game. He's a big guy. And a soccer-style kicker does tie the football game at 7-7. Woo, put your seatbelt on. We'll be back in a moment.
Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. They're open from 11 to 8, Monday through Saturday. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Hi, this is Chris Cavender. The holidays are around the corner. Call Cavender Home Theater to get that new TV or audio system delivered and set up by our professionals. We can deliver all that plus dish with one visit by our top-notch team of installers, so you know it's done right. Competitive prices, local service you can depend on. Come see us at 6202 Texoma Parkway in Sherman, online at cavenderht.com, or give us a call, 903-892-3499. Local service is always better. Go Bulldogs!
Well, the Wildcats tie it at 7. And, man, they do not take any time to do it. It's a little over 2.5 minutes to do so. And here's a high pooch kick going to be taken by Hawthorne at the 32. And he's making his way to the far side and is knocked out of bounds at the 41-yard line. And Howe will set up shop there at their own 41. On their second possession, let's see, we'll actually call it the 42. And there's 2:26 on the first quarter clock. Howe and Waskom tied 7-7 as Howe took the first possession, took 7 minutes off the clock to start the game, punched it in from 18 yards out by Hawthorne to make it 7-0. And then Waskom just ran down the field in a hurry and scored. And this is going to be Lopez on the carry. He's not going to do much. Maybe he gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down at 10. Carter took it over from the 2-yard line on a first and goal from the 2 to tie the game, 7-7. And here we are in Howe's second possession. 2:10 on the clock in the first quarter, tied 7-7.
Yeah, Waskom's pretty quick.
They are very, very quick. All three members of the backfield just can, man, they can really scoop. Here's a handoff, Tyler Grisham for the first time tonight, and he will dive forward enough for about 3 yards inside the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Kevin Johnson made the in-only stop, and John Lumpkin.
Third and a long 5 coming up, maybe 3rd and 6, as we're at the 1.5 minute mark. Blevins brings the play in. Everybody is very tight together right here. And this is going to be Wall on the reverse, and he's met in the backfield. They snuffed it out. That's the reverse that Howe's been so successful on all year long. But right there, was a defender for Waskom, and it's going to be 4th and long.
John Lumpkin, 6 foot 225 senior. He smelt that one coming a mile away.
Well, this is where the game can change against a team like this. Howe's going to have to punt. And when you don't keep going and keep scoring against Waskom, you're going to be in trouble because they do like to score. They're hard to stop. 4th and 8, Overby back to punt, and he will. It'll be a low line drive kick, bounce at about the 27. Take a good Howe roll all the way back to the 18-yard line. Waskom will start at their own 18 with 31 seconds left to go in the first quarter. But again, you don't want to punt to them. You've got to score. You've got to keep scoring. So Howe now is going to have to somehow keep Waskom off the board.
Yeah, Waskom rolls those, their return guys, they're averaging 16, 31, 18 yards per carry. That you definitely don't want to punt to them.
Junebug Johnson has 776 yards on the ground this year. His cousin, Kevin Johnson, 1,304 yards on the ground and 16 touchdowns. 2 slots to the near side. Waskom moving right to left, toss to the near side, and brought down after about 3 or 4 yards is going to be Kevin Johnson on the carry.
Tackle made by Dalton Felder. He said, "You're not running my way."
He'll cross the 20 to the 21, give him 3 yards on first down. And that very well could be the last play of the first quarter, as there's 9 on the clock, and I believe that's going to be it. 5, 4, 3. Yeah, they're just walking off the field.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
GCEC Wireless, located in Van Alstyne off of Exit 51, can help you with all your Verizon wireless needs. They have a wide range of products and services, including smartphones, wireless home and mobile internet, wireless home phone service, and accessories. They're also your local DirecTV dealer. So come on by or call them at 903-712-2355. That's GCEC Wireless. And go Bulldogs!
We'll flip it around the other way and see what happens here. It's 7-7. Howe and Waskom in the regional championship game. Howe took 7 minutes and 2 seconds off their first drive to start the football game and scored on an Anthony Hawthorne 18-yard touchdown run. Waskom answered right back. Howe had the punt, and here we are with Waskom again, moving left to right now. 2nd down and 8. This is going to be a handoff near side, and that's Junebug Johnson, who's got a seam, and he's very fast. Got the 35, 40, and he's got the 50. He's got 2 defenders he's got to get rid of, and they bring him down at the 31-yard line. Dalton Felder and Nick Wilson, along with Levi Merzinski, all in pursuit. Finally, get Junebug Johnson out of bounds at the 30.
He's 5 foot.
Here they go. They're not wasting any time. Back to the line of scrimmage. Toss left side. Kevin Johnson. He slips out of a defender and falls down. He shakes out of his jock and falls down. He was making so many moves that he just fell down himself. He faked himself out.
He did. He did.
Ball down at the 27-yard line. Hurry up offense. Handoff right side. That's going to be the fullback, Dylan Benton, and he'll gain a couple. Not enough for the first, up to the 22-yard line.
Tyler Grisham made the stop for the Bulldogs.
Waskom trying to change the pace of this football game, and I think they jump off sides. They were trying to quick hit it there and get the first down on 3rd and 2, but I believe they jumped off sides.
Penalty flag on the field. Dead ball illegal procedure is the call, 5 yards.
Yes, it will be against Waskom, so all their trickery kind of backfired on them there.
It did. It backfired.
Instead of a 3rd and 2, they face a 3rd and 7 here. 11-14 and rolling in the second quarter. All tied up 7-7. They were wasting no time trying to catch the Bulldogs napping there, and just shot himself in the foot. 3rd and 7. Carter under center, sends Johnson in motion, hands off to him, and he's trying to find that outside edge. And he does fall down again after a gain of about 2 or 3 at the 25-yard line. Nick Wilson will get credit for the tackle, but Johnson again making so many moves, he just simply fell down. So here we go again. It'll be 4th down and no sign of punting or anything like that. Waskom's going to go for it on 4th and 4, a long 4, at the Howe 19-yard line. Trying to draw Howe off sides, and they may have done it. As soon as the Howe defender went into the neutral zone, the left tackle, Matt Norris, ran right at him, and I believe that's going to be against Howe. A very smart move by Matt Norris, as I think he got one of the defenders from Howe. I believe that was Helpenstell. He just kind of moved a little bit into the neutral zone, and Norris took care of it. Very smart. So an automatic there. Now it's a 1st and 10 for Waskom without having to do much. Timeout, Waskom. We'll be right back.
Think back to the best fried pie you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. They have handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 903-712-PIES. That's 903-712-7437. Sweetie Pies can also make custom Howe cookies, muffins, and other baked goods. Winter is here early, and it's extremely important to have your car's cooling system and brake systems checked before the bad weather hits. At 4A Automotive, you can check out all of their monthly specials on their new website at 4aautomotive.com. 4A Automotive is a bumper-to-bumper automotive shop. They do it all, from autos to diesels, and they're front-end specialists, too. So call 4A Automotive today at 903-546-0024. They're located 4 miles east of Howe at the corner of FM 902 and Luella Road.
Here we go. 1st down and 10 from Waskom. Handoff right side, and that's Benton on the carry. Actually going the other side. I think there was a fumble on the play, but the official says that the carrier was down. I'm trying to find out who carried the ball. I think that was
the quarterback, Monty.
I think it was a keeper, and yeah, Carter kept it. You know, they run a lot of misdirection also, just like Howe does. And it's kind of hard to see who has the ball at times, and Carter kept it that time. He goes under center here, sends a man in motion. Handoff up the middle, and Benton barrels his way through, enough for a 1st down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line of Howe. And Waskom in great shape here to score with a 1st and goal.
Andrew Griffin, Dylan Moreau, Dalton Felder made the stop for the Bulldogs.
No longer the hurry-up offense, as Waskom now looks over to the sideline, gets the call, and now Carter will go under center. And he's going to keep it himself to the right side. He's met, breaks out of a tackle. He was hit in the backfield, somehow escapes and scores. Carter on his 2nd touchdown of the night, this one from 6 yards.
Yeah, he was hit in the backfield, and he just bounced off and kept going.
So Chavaria will come on to try to extend this lead to 14-7. Carter will hold. Low snap. It's dug out. And it's good. 14-7. Waskom takes their first lead of the night. Back in a moment.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only, where you get great food and big smiles. And a little message for all our Howe football players: go Bulldogs, fight, Bulldogs win, win, win. Because it's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Have a loose wire? Maybe you want to install a new light fixture or wall outlet. Even bigger projects are no problem for Jim Jackson Electrical Services. You need a local electrician that's experienced but isn't going to break the bank. Jim Jackson Electrical Services is just that. Don't wait until it's too late. Jim Jackson Electrical Services is the electrician for you. Visit TexomaElectrician.com. Our victory light is entrusted to Jim Jackson Electrical Services.
Well, it was a 6-yard touchdown by quarterback Trace Carter, his second of the night. And Waskom goes up 14-7 here in Tyler, Texas. Howe's about to get the football back with 9:14 on the second quarter clock. And Chavarria will bang this one deep. It's going to be taken by Tyler Grisham at the 22. Coming on the far side, right to left, escapes a couple of defenders, makes his way past the 45, up near midfield to the 47-yard line. And Howe will take over in great shape in field position-wise, just shy of midfield. And again, Howe's going to have to do something here to stay in competition. You've got to answer and fight right back because Waskom's going to score. If Howe doesn't score here, it's going to be a long, long evening. So here is Brandon Wall at quarterback, wants to throw. Down the field, Tyler Grisham way overshoots him. And actually, it was great coverage by Kevin Johnson. It'll fall incomplete. It'll be second down and 10. Matter of fact, Wall threw it before Tyler Grisham even turned around to look. And that one was not even close. 9 on the clock. 9 exactly. It was an 82-yard drive a moment ago. It took over 3 minutes off the clock by Waskom. Lopez back at quarterback. Toss near side. Tyler Grisham fumbles the football at the 40. And right on it are the Waskom Wildcats. And that is what you absolutely cannot have in this football game. And that, my friends, could be a game changer. Waskom will have the ball at the Howe 39-yard line.
Keelan Johnson made the recovery for the Wildcats.
The ball is now spotted at the 39-yard line.
That's what Waskom does. They take the ball away. Grisham has not fumbled, I believe, all year. And that's a very costly one. 8:51 on the clock in the second quarter. Trace Carter goes under center. 3 men left, and this will be a toss left. And that is going to be Amy on the carry to the 40, and he'll bump his way past 5 yards to the 35-yard line. And he does get out of bounds to stop the clock at 8:45.
Dalton Felder run him out of bounds.
There is a south wind kind of blowing through here a little bit. It's not real prevalent, but it is kind of in the face of Waskom here. Second down and 7 as the Wildcats now look over to the head coach and offensive coordinator to see what the play is going to be. And now they come back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 7, 8:45 on the clock. And the second quarter. Handoff. Right up the middle. Oh, it's going to be a misdirection again as, man alive, Trace Carter is a master at the play fake. He faked it to Benton up the middle, or Amy rather, and then just followed right behind him. It's just very hard to pick it up. Carter is just so good at the play fake.
He is. Tyler Grisham made the stop.
So here we go after the first down run by Carter, as Waskom has the ball inside the 25 at the 24-yard line of Howe. Carter goes in under center. He'll toss right side. Junebug Johnson, who cuts it up the middle, and it's going to be close to a first down after a gain of about 8.
Tanner Hartsfield made the stop for the
17-yard line, and that'll bring up a second down and 3. Boy, the fumble is just so costly against a team who likes to score points like this. Just so costly.
Yeah, it is.
Kevin Johnson in motion. He'll get the toss. He slips out of a couple of defenders. He really can make some moves. He makes so many that he almost fakes himself out, but he did spin out of one there and gains maybe, I don't even know if he gained a yard. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Sometimes he's just too quick for himself.
Yeah, I believe that's a true statement. 3rd and 3. They are very, very quick. You know, the Johnson boys are just so quick.
Now, you said they were all relative?
Carter, right side, looking for the end zone. He's got it. 17-yard touchdown by Trace Carter around the right side. He just basically kept the ball, followed his blockers along the right edge, and scored. Third touchdown of the night for Carter. And now they take the lead 20-7, awaiting this PAT. 7:06 on the clock, and here's Chavaria's kick, and it looks good. And it is. Waskom leads 21-7 here in Tyler, Texas.
You're invited to the one and only Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Bucksnort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs. The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
The type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, you know, it's something they can be proud of.
The Wildcats of Waskom fake the onside kick. They all spread out now. Chavaria will probably, well, he's not going to kick it. They send another kicker to onside kick, and he will be hit, and a flag comes down at the 48-yard line as the recovery, I believe, was made by Zach Blevins, but he was lit up at the 47, and a flag came in.
Yeah, I think he'd come in. I think he's going to say led with his head.
That was a vicious, vicious hit.
Yeah, I think he's going to say he come in with hit him with his headgear.
The officials are still talking about it at the 46-yard line. Right now, that's where the ball, or actually the 47 is where Howe would start. We'll see. Oh, they're going to wave it off. They're going to wave off the flag.
Yeah, I would have thought where he hit him at would have been
First down, Bulldogs.
Would have been a penalty.
Wow. Well, you'd almost rather, just don't throw a flag if you're just going to wave it off.
Yeah. Coach Hudson's out on the field now discussing with the official.
Yeah, trying to get an explanation of what, first of all, what the call was, which I think you're right, leading with the head, and then why waving it off. Apparently one of the other officials must have saw something else. Maybe he led with the shoulder pad, which is not a penalty.
Right.
But nonetheless, Howe will start at their own 47-yard line, still in great field position. And Hartsfield will break the huddle, come to the line of scrimmage. Caleb Ake split way out. This is the furthest I've seen him split out wide. Lopez under center. Coming left to right. Brandon Wall in motion. Handoff Hawthorne right side. He's got a lot of room. Stiff arms his way after about a 7-yard gain. Inside Waskom territory to the 47-yard line.
Dylan Benton made the stop for the Wildcats.
It was a left-handed stiff arm that got Hawthorne about 3 or 4 more yards after initial contact, as Blevins will bring in the play with 6:38 left to go in the second quarter. Howe trailing 21-7. 2nd and 4. This will be a handoff to Wall coming near side, and he is met immediately and right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1 they'll give him. 3rd and 3 coming up. He took a pop.
Tyler Grisham on the carry.
That was Grisham, rather, instead of
Keelan and Kevin Johnson in on the stop. Now, did you say they were brothers or cousins?
Junebug Johnson and Kevin Johnson are cousins.
Are Keelan Johnson and...
I do not know about Keelan Johnson.
Okay.
3rd and 3. Wall in motion. Handoff Grisham again, left side. It's met, has a first down at the 42-yard line. You know, that's a great thing about Dale West and Zach Hudson, as they, even though Grisham fumbled a moment ago, they just go right back to him 2 carries in a row and showing complete confidence in him, even though he fumbled. And that says so much about the coaching staff to not give up on that young man.
That's right.
5:52 on the clock here in the second quarter. Howe trailing Waskom 21-7. First and 10 coming up. Moving right to left. Brandon Wall in motion. Handoff Hawthorne, right side. Runs right behind his offensive lineman, Kiefer Rogers, on his way to 4 yards on first down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
Tackle made by Killian.
And it'll be second down and 6 for Howe with 5:29 on the clock.
You know, Killian Johnson made the stop for the Wildcats. And, you know, you talk about Kiefer. I've known Kiefer for a couple of years now. Kiefer's a gentle giant. He don't say nothing, but he just does what he needs to do.
Everybody tight. Wall on the reverse, trying to snuff his way through, and does for maybe a yard and a half. Now, if you know anything about Waskom here, it looks like they have completely designed themselves to stop that reverse, because the reverse works almost all the time, especially in the first 2 playoff games. But not tonight. They have completely snuffed that one out. 3rd and 5 coming up as Blevins will bring in the play. And another crucial 2 downs coming up, because you would think that Howe would go for it on 4th. Hawthorne in motion. He gets the hand near side. Escapes one defender up to the 40. Jukes one defender at the 30. To the 20. To the 15. To the 5. A foot race. Kiss him goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas. 37 yards for Anthony Hawthorne. And his 28th touchdown of the year brings Howe close. 21-13 awaiting the PAT.
Good job, Anthony. Good job, everybody. You know, these ends blocked. They did their job. He had a good lead blocker out in front of him, and you know, a couple of little juke moves, and he was there.
He made one defender miss in the backfield, just cut inside him. And once he made that cut, you could tell he was gone, but he had someone on his heels about the 5, and he just barely got in. Here's Honecker for the PAT. It's up, and it is good. 21-14. Howe cuts the Waskom lead. We'll be back in Tyler, Texas.
The Howe Enterprise has served Howe as the hometown news since 1963. Since then, the Bulldogs have won 8 district, 7 by-district, 3 area championships, and 1 regional title. We've seen 14 different head coaches during that time. The Howe Enterprise has been with the Bulldogs for 51 years. We were there when the Pride of Howe won 3 band state championships. HoweEnterprise.com publishes weekly on Mondays.
Carrie's Coffee Company in historic downtown Van Alstyne, next to the post office, is the new upscale coffee shop serving Van Alstyne, Howe, and surrounding areas. Carrie's Coffee Company offers a wide variety of organic coffee and non-coffee beverages and baked goods. Come visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne, next to the post office, and mention this ad and get 50% off your first beverage. Open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 7 a.m. on Saturdays. Carrie's Coffee Company is Texas quality.
37 yards for Anthony Hawthorne on his second touchdown of the night. It's 28th of the year. Brings our new score 21-14. Waskom in the lead. Here's an onside kick. Going to be bouncing around the 35 and will go out of bounds at the 31-yard line. This is what happened last week, but a defender from Hughes Springs jumped on the football, and that completely turned that game around last week. Instead of letting it go out of bounds, the Hughes Springs player jumped on it at about the 6. And this time it'll go out of bounds. A legal procedure will be the call here, and Waskom will take the penalty and take the ball at the 40, actually the 35-yard line.
Ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line.
So 4:22 on the clock, and Waskom takes over at their own 35. On their 4th possession of the game so far. 1st and 10, left to right. Man in motion, handoff up the middle, Benton. good for 6 yards. They'll call it 5 as his knee hit at the 40.
Mike Heppenstall in on the stop for the Bulldogs.
That's actually Chan Amy, I believe. No, that's Benton on the carry. It's kind of hard to see those numbers. They're a lot like White, Wright, and S&S. The numbers the same color as their jersey, but they're outlined in white. I don't know why everybody's doing that. It's a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible. I protest. 2nd down and 5. And this will be a toss. Coming near side, Kevin Johnson gets a great block. He's got the 50. He's got the 40. Surrounded by Bulldogs and finally brought down at the 29-yard line. Inside Howe territory, they'll mark him a terrible spot. They'll mark him at the 27 as he was closer to the 30 when he was brought down, but the official was not there. The official was lagging behind as nobody can keep up with Johnson. But they will give him the 27-yard line.
My son is in Denison tonight. He said Pottsboro is on top of Whitesboro 14-7.
I'd like to say hello to the family out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, listening here tonight to Howe Bulldogs football. A timeout, I believe, has been called. Howe's taking it. And we'll take one, too.
Your business has a story to tell. Let Fast Signs help you tell it using the right mix of visual communication solutions like signs, banners, digital displays, vehicle graphics, mobile marketing, and so much more. Give Fast Signs your business challenge and we'll come up with a plan to grow your business, reach more customers, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs.
Fast Signs Texoma, located at 1916 North Grand Avenue in Sherman, 903-893-SIGN. Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. They're open from 11 to 8, Monday through Saturday. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
3:43 on the clock here in the second quarter. Howe trailing 21-14 to Waskom, who has a 1st and 10 moving left to right. Carter goes under center, sends a man in motion. He'll hand off right up the middle, and squirting through somehow on that misdirection for a 1st down is Dylan Benton. And it's one of those things that they've run that so much, and Carter has kept it so often that Carter was met very rudely on the outside edge by Heppenstall. But in the meantime, Dylan Benton was running straight up the middle because Carter did not keep it that time.
Right.
Extremely difficult to pick up. Carter under center, sends a man in motion, and he's going to follow his lead blocker through the hole on the left side, is brought down at the 12-yard line. Gain of about 5.
Anthony Hawthorne made the stop.
He had a wide open hole on the left side, and then finally it closed up, and whistles blow here. Let's see what this is about.
Official timeout on the field.
Not sure what's...
Well, I got a player on his neck, squatted down there.
It doesn't look like a Bulldog, and I'm trying to find the Waskom Wildcat. And I guess it's on the 13. Is that Carter? It is Carter. Carter's down. Now the backup to Carter, if he couldn't come back in, would be his little brother, Ty Carter, who's a freshman, is listed on the depth chart at number 2. Now Carter's going to come off the field. Let's see who takes his place. And it looks like Junebug Johnson has taken snaps. You can't even say that right without, it sounds weird.
Right.
Okay, Junebug Johnson's taking the snap.
It's one of them things that I had to ask you, before we started. I wanted to make sure I was saying it right.
Yep. Junebug Johnson will come in at quarterback. And Caleb Haynes will come into the game as the slot back to take Junebug's place. Junebug. Left to right. And Junebug Johnson goes under center. On 2nd down and 5. He's going to toss to the left side, and Overby's going to bring down the ball carrier right at the first down marker. It's a gain of 5, but let's check the spot and see where it's at.
Kevin Johnson was the guy running the ball that time.
And it is a first down.
Looked like Carter just checked back in too.
The ball at the 6-yard line, a first and goal from the 6. .218 on the clock in the second quarter. Man in motion, handoff. Benton, who was trapped and then fights his way through into the end zone. I thought there was a fumble at the end. No, he's not in the end zone. He'll be down at the 1. He should have been dropped in the backfield. That's about the third time tonight the Bulldogs have had Waskom trapped in the backfield that they've broken through. And now it'll be second and goal from the 1.
Tristan Matthews made the stop. He made the initial hit.
1:45 and rolling here before the half. 21-14, Waskom in the lead. And they are taking their time. And they're going to let the clock roll all the way down and probably call a timeout here as they're just trying to chew up this clock. They don't want to give Howe the football back. And the clock is at 2-1, and a timeout's been called. Waskom has taken it.
Hi, this is Chris Cavender. The holidays are around the corner. Call Cavender Home Theater to get that new TV or audio system delivered and set up by our professionals. We can deliver all that plus dish with one visit by our top-notch team of installers, so you know it's done right. Competitive prices, local service you can depend on. Come see us at 6202 Texoma Parkway in Sherman. Online at cavenderht.com. Or give us a call, 903-892-3499. Local service is always better. Go Bulldogs!
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Second down and goal from the 1. Carter already 3 touchdowns tonight. He goes under center. Sends a man in motion. Toss or handoff right side. Dylan Benton. He's in. Touchdown. Waskom. They extend the lead 27-14, awaiting this PAT with 1:23 left to go before the half.
They need to sit back, relax, regroup. They're going to be fine, I think. You know, Howe's playing a great game tonight.
There's a flag down on this extra point attempt. We'll have to check and see what the officials are talking about here. It's going to be against Howe. And here's an interesting opportunity for Waskom as they'll move it half the distance to the goal. And you almost have to think about going for 2 here if you're Waskom. And Waskom's going to call a timeout. We'll take 1-2.
GCEC Wireless, located in Van Alstyne off of Exit 51, can help you with all your Verizon wireless needs. They have a wide range of products and services, including smartphones, wireless home and mobile internet, wireless home phone service, and accessories. They're also your local DirecTV dealer. So come on by or call them at 903-712-2355. That's GCEC Wireless. And go Bulldogs!
Think back to the best fried pie you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. They have handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 903-712-PIES. That's 903-712-7437. Sweetie Pies can also make custom Howe cookies, muffins, and other baked goods.
Well, an opportunity here to have a 1-point penalty go against Howe as they're going to go for 2. And this is going to be Carter who takes it in right over right guard. And now we have a new score of 29-14. Waskom in the lead. A very costly penalty on the extra point gives them another point. We'll be back in a moment.
Winter is here early, and it's extremely important to have your car's cooling system and brake systems checked before the bad weather hits. At 4A Automotive, you can check out all of their monthly specials on their new website at 4aautomotive.com. 4A Automotive is a bumper-to-bumper automotive shop. They do it all, from autos to diesels, and they're front-end specialists, too. So call 4A Automotive today at 903-546-0024. They're located 4 miles east of Howe at the corner of FM 902 and Luella Road.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic and Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only, where you get great food and big smiles. And a little message for all our Howe football players: go Bulldogs, fight, Bulldogs win, win, win. Because it's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Well, 29-14, our new score here in Tyler, Texas at Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium, as Waskom will fake the Quail onside and everybody else will spread out. And I don't even see Chavaria to kick this one. It's going to be a squib kick right down the middle of the field. Hawthorne will take it at the 21-yard line, coming straight up the field, looking for a block. Now comes near side, shakes a defender, and foot tackle at the 35-yard line. And Howe will set up shop there at their own 35 with 1:16 to play with before the half.
5-yard line, 1st and 10 Bulldogs.
Mike Reason made the stop for Waskom.
So you know Howe does not throw the football. They're not going to throw it. They're going to try to hit this one right here very quickly without throwing the football. 1:16 on the clock. Sends Caleb Ake way out wide right. Look for Hawthorne over right tackle. And this is going to be coming on the near side as Brandon Wall. He'll be stopped in the backfield, a 2-yard loss. And if Wall was not tackled right there in the backfield by that one arm tackle, then he would have had a lot of room to run. But it was the arm tackle that got him 2 yards back.
Kyle McNinnis.
Yeah,
that's a new one there.
Now, if he wouldn't have stretched out his left arm, I believe Wall would have gone at least 25 yards.
Oh, yeah. He had a big hole.
But a lot of athleticism on that Waskom side of the football. Hawthorne in motion, handoff to him. Coming to the far side. Gets a block by Grisham, makes his way up past the 40 to the 42-yard line, shy of midfield, and shy of the first down by 4 yards. Clock runs at 23 seconds.
Mike Reason made the stop for the Wildcats.
You'll probably see the last play of the first half right here. 3rd and 3 with 14 seconds on the clock. They snap it with 9 seconds. Handoff Hawthorne, right side, looking for a hole. He's got some room. He crosses the 40, and a timeout needs to be called there. 4 seconds, 3 seconds on the clock, and a timeout has been called. A nice gain all the way into Waskom territory to the 40-yard line. Howe's going to have one shot here, one play to score from the 40-yard line. They take a timeout. We'll keep it right here. 3 seconds on the clock, and Michael, we've seen this team all year long. What do you expect to see from the Bulldogs on this play?
Well, I'm thinking they're going to pull Anthony. He's going to run towards the Howe side of the ball. I'm not sure where. I guess that's the northeast side.
Let's see. This stadium runs northwest, so yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And
anyway, the far side is
he's going to run to the far side,
okay.
I think.
Before tonight, I would have said this would be a Brandon Wall reverse, hands down, automatic, but not tonight. Not tonight. And, Stephen Braswell says, throw the football. And, I think that's pretty obvious that, most teams would throw the football here. With Howe, the only time that Waskom really would expect Howe to throw it would be now.
Although,
and when you have Hawthorne and he has the football in his hands, he could go at any moment. It looks like he's going to come near side, I'll bet you. 1st and 10, he comes in motion. They fake the hand to him, they give it to Wall. Coming to the far side, he's got some room, almost shakes it out. but is going to be brought down at the 27-yard line, and that's going to be the end of the... No, the ball's going the other way. There's a fumble on the play. Waskom's going to take it all the way. Apparently, Wall was not down, and Waskom takes it the entire distance the other way. The clock has run out.
Yeah, I believe on that initial contact, it looked like Keelan Johnson may have stripped the ball and tossed it to the guy that ran up the sideline.
You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, let me change that. Keelan Johnson was the guy that scored the touchdown.
2 fumbles on the night, both by sophomores, and one goes back to the house. And now we're expecting a PAT here from Chavarria. It's 35-14. It's 36-14. That's the end of the half. We'll be back in just a moment. For the field, let's talk about this first half a little bit as it ended in a shock for the Howe Bulldogs. All right, guys. The Howe Bulldogs took the opening possession, started at their own 41-yard line, and drove all the way 69 yards. Make that 59 if I get my math right. 59 yards on the drive. Took over 7 minutes off the first clock. And Anthony Hawthorne scored from 18 yards out to give Howe the first lead of the night, 7-0, with 4:58 left to go in the first quarter. Waskom finally touched the football, and they got it at their own 44. They drove the length of the field, and they didn't take very long at all. Only 2 minutes and 27 seconds to score on a 2-yard touchdown by Trace Carter, the quarterback, and they tied the game at 7 with 2:31 left to go in the first. Howe got the ball back at their own 42 and had to punt, and that's not good when you're facing a team like Waskom who likes to put the ball in the end zone on every possession. So they took the ball at the 18-yard line at their own 18 with 31 seconds left to go in the first. They moved on into the second quarter, and Carter scored for the second time tonight. Excuse me, a 6-yard touchdown, and that gave Waskom their first lead of the night, 14-7, with 9:14 left to go in the second quarter. Howe got the ball back at their own 47 with 9:14, and it was Grisham who fumbled, the first fumble of the night for the Howe Bulldogs. That gave Waskom the ball back at the Howe 39-yard line, and they quickly punched it in. Carter ran it in from 17 yards out to up Waskom's lead 21-7 with 7:06 left to go before the half. That's when Howe got it back, and Anthony Hawthorne scored from 37 yards out on an electrifying run to cut the Waskom lead 21-14 with 4:22 left to go before the half. Waskom took it back at their own 35 with 4:22, and Dylan Benton scored from 1 yard out after the 65-yard drive. And that gave Waskom the 29-14 lead after a penalty on the 2-point conversion, or actually on the extra point. Waskom decided to go for 2. They punched it in and left 1:23 on the clock. And Howe got it back at their own 35-yard line. They tried a couple of tosses. Anthony Hawthorne actually made a good run to the 40. And then they gave it to Brandon Wall, who fumbled. He made it actually down to the 27-yard line to run out the clock, but he fumbled. It was Keelan Johnson who returned it 73 yards with no time on the clock. And here we are at the half, as they went up 36-14 with no time on the clock, added 7 points with no time, and that is really disaster for the Howe Bulldogs, as not only you don't go in with momentum, it gives Waskom all the momentum in the world, and Howe went into the locker room just out of breath from that just tragic moment in the football game.
And unfortunately, Howe has to kick off to Waskom when we come back out.
Yeah, that's the bad part, is Waskom's going to get the ball first. We're going to take a quick timeout. Be back in a moment with more Howe Bulldog football on HoweEnterprise.com.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
GCEC Wireless, located in Van Alstyne off of Exit 51, can help you with all your Verizon wireless needs. They have a wide range of products and services, including smartphones, wireless home and mobile internet, wireless home phone service, and accessories. They're also your local DirecTV dealer. So come on by or call them at 903-712-2355. That's GCEC Wireless. And go Bulldogs!
Think back to the best fried pie you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. They have handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 903-712-PIES. That's 903-712-7437. Sweetie Pies can also make custom Howe cookies, muffins, and other baked goods. Winter is here early, and it's extremely important to have your car's cooling system and brake systems checked before the bad weather hits. At 4A Automotive, you can check out all of their monthly specials on their new website at 4aautomotive.com. 4A Automotive is a bumper-to-bumper automotive shop. They do it all, from autos to diesels, and they're front-end specialists, too. So call 4A Automotive today at 903-546-0024. They're located 4 miles east of Howe at the corner of FM 902 and Luella Road.
Michael, what are the Bulldogs going to have to do to get back into this football game?
They're going to have to put the brakes on Waskom. They're going to have to shut down that running game. You know, they are quick. Howe's just going to have to be a little bit quicker.
Waskom, we talked about, they've scored over 60 points 8 times in the last 2 years. They're on pace right now for 72 to be exact, with their 36 points here at the half. And the Bulldogs are going to have to just try to, like you said, they're going to have to put some stops on Waskom. And
their main focus, they're going to have to focus on Trace Carter. I mean, Trace Carter, that quarterback's just, you know, he's wearing them out.
We have a word from our spotter, Stephen Braswell, that Tyler Grisham is not warming up, so I don't know exactly what that means, but here come the Bulldogs back out on the field. So I don't know whether Grisham will be back for the second half or not. And here come the Waskom Wildcats. Waskom leads 36-14 as we're just about ready to get underway here in the third quarter of action.
You know, and looking across, and you know, it is a pretty good ways across. I don't even, oh, there he is. I didn't even see Tyler on the sideline, but I see him now.
Well, as we mentioned, the Waskom Wildcats will get the football here to start the second half, which is not good news for Howe. And hopefully, you know, Howe loves to do the onside and loves to do the squib kick. And maybe, just maybe, if you're a Howe Bulldog fan, which most everyone listening here on this broadcast is, maybe, just maybe, Howe can get the onside kick here and get lucky enough to get the ball and maybe go down and punch it in and make some noise in this second half. As Honecker lines it up, he's 7 yards deep. He makes his way to the football, and it's an onside kick. Going to be taken at the 47-yard line and down right there by Waskom. Nice job of just covering up that football. It
looked like number 84.
Yeah, I think that was Jason Jinks who recovered it. And Waskom will take over at their own 47-yard line. as we're just now getting underway here in the third quarter. Trace Carter comes to the line of scrimmage. Now Waskom will be moving right to left. One man in the backfield, two slots. Carter sends Junebug Johnson in motion. He gets the toss, going right side. Makes a cut. He's got lots of room, 40. 35-30. Makes another cut and is knocked out of bounds by Andrew Griffin at the 27-yard line. But Junebug Johnson is very, very fast.
He is. That was a good open field tackle by Andrew.
And now hurrying up is Waskom, and they're going to score on this next play. And that's going to be Dylan Benton on the toss to the left side as Waskom caught the Bulldogs napping there. They caught me napping because they ran up to the line of scrimmage, snapped the ball before anybody else was ready. And they're on the board. Here we are, 17 seconds into the third quarter, and they've already scored.
I wasn't even watching. I looked down for just a second.
They are very, very well coached. Here's Chavaria on for the PAT. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Holy moly, 43-14, and we're just underway in the third.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic and Howe for half-price shakes after 8 and open until midnight. Home games only, where you get great food and big smiles. And a little message for all our Howe football players. Go Bulldogs, fight! Bulldogs win, win, win. Because it's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Have a loose wire? Maybe you want to install a new light fixture or wall outlet. Even bigger projects are no problem for Jim Jackson Electrical Services. You need a local electrician that's experienced but isn't going to break the bank. Jim Jackson Electrical Services is just that. Don't wait until it's too late. Jim Jackson Electrical Services is the electrician for you. Visit TexomaElectrician.com. Our victory light is entrusted to Jim Jackson Electrical Services.
Well, 43-14. Waskom in the lead very quickly. Stephen Braswell's not even made it back up here yet from the tunnel. And Waskom's already scored. Here's going to be Dalton Felder back deep. Will return this kick at the 7-yard line. Now coming up near side. Now moves to the middle of the field and brought down inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. Not a great return by Howe.
Tackle was made by Mike Reason.
About a 9-yard return there. Man alive, that was fast. As Dylan Benton took it about 22 yards, I believe, a moment ago. As here comes Howe on 1st and 10, moving left to right. Lopez, handoff Hawthorne. He comes near side. He's got some seam for a moment to the 30 to the 31-yard line. A first down, a gain of 13.
Junebug Johnson made the stop.
Kevin Johnson with the tackle, along with Tony Ratcliffe.
Well,
first down.
Man, I just can't get over the fact that they took 17 seconds off the clock on that drive. And here's Howe, starting at their own 17, now up to the 32-yard line. Coming near side is Hawthorne, and he just trips over one of the offensive line. Looks like Stump Matthews. He tripped over his feet and gained about 3 yards up to the 40, or 35 rather. 34 they'll call it. Second and 8 coming up for Howe. Trailing 43-14. As Waskom already had the foot on the throat, they just kind of leaned over a little bit. Lopez sends Brandon Wall in motion. Handoff Hawthorne, left side. Met, but he bounces out and gains enough up to the 39-yard line. It'll be 3 yards shy of the first down to bring up 3rd and 3 coming up. 10:20 left on the third quarter clock. Out trailing 43-14.
Michael Yeager in on the stop.
Nick Wilson brings the play in. Tanner Hartsfield breaks the huddle. Everybody else comes to the line of scrimmage. Hawthorne in the backfield all alone. 2 slots. Lopez under center. Handoff Hawthorne. Right side. And he's met and brought down immediately. Nothing doing there. Matter of fact, he just kind of looked like he was horse-collared and brought down, but apparently he wasn't. No flag. It'll be 4th and 3. And now Howe's going to either have to punt on their own end of the field or go for it here and just run the risk of being swallowed up. And they're going to punt.
Chan Amy made the stop for the Wildcats.
And Howe's going to punt.
He may have come in, Monty, on a safety blitz and caught him off guard.
This will be the second punt of the night for Howe. The first one came on the second possession of the game. And Overby will stand inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. Nobody back deep for Waskom as they're preparing for a fake here, and a timeout's been called. No, a flag's down. As I believe it may be, no, it's a timeout. Howe's taking a timeout.
Timeout, Bulldogs.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete store information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs. The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Well, the teams come back out on the field. We'll get back to the Booster Club in just a moment as Overby will stand now at the 26. High snap, brings it down, gets off the kick. It's a high, wobbly kick, going to bounce at about the 29. And it's going to be killed by Brandon Wall at the 32-yard line after it takes a 3-yard hop backwards. And Waskom will take over at their own 32.
2-yard line, 1st and 10.
9:04 on the third quarter clock. Howe trailing 43-14.
All right, Howe's got to pull up their bootstraps and stop them right here.
Yeah, at some point, if you want to have a chance in this football game, you've got to make a stop. And I'm not sure who's going to stop Waskom. If Howe loses this football game and Gunner wins, which is all is expected, here's a toss right side. That's Junebug Johnson, and he's brought down. Oh, no, he's not brought down. It was Merzinski who grabbed his shirt. And for a moment, Junebug Johnson went backwards, but he let go of the shirt. Junebug kept going up to the 50-yard line and gains enough for a first down, moving right to left as here is Waskom under center again. Now they're going to actually look over to the side. But talking about Waskom and Gunner, what a game that might be if Howe goes on to lose this football game, and we obviously hope that does not happen.
Yeah, exactly.
1st and 10, right to left, man in motion, Junebug Johnson. This is going to be Carter, left-handed thrower. Wants to throw down the field, nowhere close. Matter of fact, Levi Merzinski and Easton Ross were the closest receivers, and they are defenders. 8:25 on the third quarter clock. Howe trailing 43-14. 2nd and 10 coming up. Waskom will go ahead.
What do you think maybe that pass was just maybe to kind of break it up to, setting Howe up for something, spectacular, or,
Here's a handoff up the middle. Dylan Benton, gain of about 7, crosses midfield into Howe territory at the 43-yard line.
These
Amy on the carry.
Bulldogs.
That's Amy actually on the carry instead of Benton.
With the tackle.
The Bulldogs, they still have time. They just need to shut them down here and let's play our ball game.
3rd and 3. I'll tell you, Whitney Keeling is this team is very well coached.
Yes, they are.
I mean, they have great athletes, but they're well coached as well. Here's a handoff up the middle. That's Amy again. He'll have enough for a first down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. So now Waskom trying to play Howe's game of keep away. And just taking the ball and sitting on it for a little bit, gaining 3 or 4 yards at a pop. And it's first down for Waskom, moving right to left.
Kiefer Rogers made the stop for the Bulldogs, and he doesn't get a whole lot of opportunity to play a defense, so we're going to give him credit for that tackle.
This is going to be quarterback rolling out near side. He is really hammered after he throws the football incomplete. Griffin nailed him after he threw the football, and Carter's got to be feeling a little bit of that and saying, man, is that kid's really a freshman?
Right.
That freshman just took him to the woodshed in the backfield. It'll be second down and 10. Well, that's a strange looking offensive set. Everybody gets ready to snap the ball, and then they just, all 11 stand up and look to the sidelines. And now they get back in the situation. Man in motion, toss, right side, and lots of room there at the 30 to the 25-20, and brought down at the 21-yard line is Caleb Haynes. Haynes has enough for the first down, and now Waskom is in great position to score again at the 21-yard line.
Levi Merzinski made the stop for the Bulldogs.
It would be a 68-yard drive if Waskom is able to capitalize here. Right now, there's 7:01 on the third quarter clock. They're already leading 43-14 in this regional championship game. First and 10. Carter on the reverse. Junebug Johnson to the 20, to the 15, dragging people to the 10-yard line. Another first down.
Dylan Moreau in for the stop on for the Bulldogs.
And now we're looking at a first and goal from the 10. Ball's on the stripe. Waskom looks towards the sideline. A little chilly tonight, but otherwise just perfect football weather here in Texas.
It is. Winds just almost died completely.
Carter. He is going to hand off to Amy. First guy through on the left side. He'll gain 5 yards right to the 5.
Dylan Moreau made the stop.
They'll actually place it inside the 5, in between the 4-yard line and the 5. The man comes off the field, and I believe that's going to be Mike Reason, who checks out, has his helmet off, and checking into the game is Dylan Benton now.
It looked like Johnson, both Junebug and Kevin Johnson come off the field as well.
So here's Carter under center. He'll hand off. Right side and through. Touchdown, Dylan Benton. 6', 180 senior. His second touchdown of the night. 5:40 on the clock, and Waskom extends their lead. 55-14, awaiting the PAT.
Yeah, when Kevin and Junebug Johnson come off the field, Kyle Adams, 6'4", 285, checks in as fullback, and they run right up the middle.
Chavaria on for the PAT. He sends it right through. Our new score, 56-14 in this regional championship game. I'm sorry, 50. My bad. I'm running off with this thing. 50. I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Yeah, they were quick on changing the score.
Okay. Let me get this right. 50-14 with 5:40 left to go in the third.
The Howe Athletic Booster Club invites you to become a supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
The type of kids we have, they're just hard workers and do anything you ask.
Memberships are $25 and will be available at all home games. All proceeds benefit high school and middle school athletic programs. Please join the Howe Athletic Booster Club in our efforts to support our hometown kids.
When people come here, it's something they can be proud of.
5:40 left in the third here, and Waskom all over Howe, 50-14 in this regional championship game here in the third quarter. What a season it's been. I hate to, just roll it over and start talking about how great things were just yet, because the game's not over, but, man alive, things do not look good at the present moment.
No, they don't.
Chavarria is going to kick this one. It's going to be taken by Hawthorne at the 8-yard line. Trying to find his way to the left side. Now comes up to the middle of the field and not end over end at the 32-yard line, and that's where Howe will take over. So Dylan Benton scored a moment ago from 5 yards out. His second touchdown of the night. And Waskom now leads 50-14. Howe takes over with 5:33 left to go in the third. And here they come to the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10, moving left to right. Stump Matthews in the backfield. And Brandon Wall in motion. Handoff Hawthorne, right side. Met immediately, has nowhere to go. And it'll be a gain of 0, 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Goes to Hawthorne.
What a season it's been for the Howe Bulldogs. It's just,
2nd down.
It's been 24 years since Howe's made it to a regional championship game, so it's extremely special to be here. You just wish that things would be a little bit different.
Yeah, I can't wait for years to come.
Hand off to Wall on the reverse, and once again, he's met. It's played perfectly. He gains about 3 yards, but usually when you run that reverse, it's good for 9, and it has not been good for 9 all night tonight. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Lucan Norton made the stop for the Wildcats.
3rd and 6, 4:24 and rolling here in the third quarter.
This year's been great. I think the next 2 or 3 are going to be even better.
They have a chance to be really, really good over the next several years. Wall goes in motion, and they're going to pitch it out to him. He's looking for a block and can't get it. He's brought down after about a 2-yard gain. Trying to find a block from Stump Matthews, but 2 defenders were right there.
Dylan Benton.
So now it looks like Howe's going to have to punt again. 4th and 4 at their own 38-yard line. Howe has not fared real well in regional championship games, except for 1970 when they won. However, it was the second playoff game, as we mentioned. It wasn't a third-round game, and here's a wobbly end-over-end kick. Going to roll actually at the 38, roll inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And Waskom will take over there with 3:25 left to go in the third. Howe in regional championship games, if you go back to 1985 against Groveton, Howe was down early, 16-0. That game was in Corsicana at Tiger Stadium, and Groveton took the early lead. Howe fought right back. They gave up nothing in the second half. Stephen Ogle made an incredible run on a lateral, which he had to go back for. Andre Liz threw it behind the line of scrimmage, almost out of bounds. Ogle picked it up, made this most incredible run through about 11 defenders, zigzagged his way all the way across the field and scored. And that set up another touchdown later on, and Howe pulled within 16-14 in that game. Here's a handoff coming near side, and lots of room to that near side to the 40, 45 up to the 50-yard line goes Kevin Johnson. Another first down for Waskom. In that 1985 game, it came down to a decision by head coach Jim Fryer whether or not to kick a field goal to try to win the game. It would have been about a 47-yarder to win it. Coach Fryer elected not to do that and to go for it on a 4th down situation. They came up empty, and Howe came up empty in that football game and eventually lost 16-14 in that regional championship classic in 85. Here's a 1st and 10 moving right to left. Handoff. First man through. Believe that's Benton, brought down by J.P. Queen at the 46-yard line in Howe territory.
J.P. Queen and Andrew Griffin.
In 1989, Howe played McGregor in the regional championship game at Mesquite Memorial Stadium. Howe had a lead at the half, but a couple of fumbles by Clint Bray in the second half led to a 38-14 loss as McGregor just jumped all over Howe in that second half. And they ran a veer and ran it very well. Second down and about 6 here. Hand off to, no, that's Carter going to keep it. He faked the hand and kept it around the left edge, and he's got the 22-yard line.
Levi Merzinski run him out of bounds.
They'll spot him at the 21 as Carter's just a master at the play fake. The next year, in 1990, Howe played Mart at Pennington Field in the regional championship and lost 28-0 as Howe was just outmanned. Mart was a great football team and had too many athletes. Howe barely got into the playoffs, barely got past Salina in the first round on a tie, and then tied Olney the next week to get to the regional championship. Here's a handoff right up the middle, and I believe that's Amy on the carry to the 16-yard line. As again, those numbers are very, very hard to see.
On the carry.
It is Amy.
Kristen Matthews with the tackle.
And that'll be second down and 4 coming up. 1:52 left to go in the third. And that 1990 year was the last time Howe had been here to the regional championship game. And once again, facing a very, very strong East Texas team. Man in motion, right to left. Carter on the options, going to pitch it out left side. To the 10, to the 5. And that is going to be a touchdown. I believe that's Amy on the option, and he carries it in. 15-yard touchdown. And we talked about the 60 points, and they're etching very, very close here.
I think I'm going to send Stephen down and have him take those water jugs. Those water jugs are really loud in our ear, aren't they?
Chavaria on for the PAT.
We got your back, Stephen.
The kick is up. And the kick is good. 57-14 with 1:27 left to go in the third.
Howe 14.
The Howe Enterprise has served Howe as the hometown news since 1963. Since then, the Bulldogs have won 8 district, 7 by-district, 3 area championships, and 1 regional title. We've seen 14 different head coaches during that time. The Howe Enterprise has been with the Bulldogs for 51 years. We were there when the Pride of Howe won 3 band state championships. HoweEnterprise.com publishes weekly on Mondays.
Carrie's Coffee Company in historic downtown Van Alstyne, next to the post office, is the new upscale coffee shop serving Van Alstyne, Howe, and surrounding areas. Carrie's Coffee Company offers a wide variety of organic coffee and non-coffee beverages and baked goods. Come visit Carrie's Coffee Company in downtown Van Alstyne, next to the post office, and mention this ad and get 50% off your first beverage. Open Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 7 a.m. on Saturdays. Carrie's Coffee Company is Texas quality.
Well, here we go, 57-14. Waskom in the lead. 1:27 left to go in the third. And no sign of Chavaria. That means they'll do some trickery on their kickoffs. And this will be a kick that goes straight out of bounds. That's good for Howe.
Out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Went right out at the 40. It wasn't even a deep kick.
No, it didn't even. It just went straight out of bounds.
So Howe's going to get the football back. Anthony Hawthorne, we'll have to check and see where he's at here on touchdowns. He had 120 yards before the half to add to his already leading single season mark. Hawthorne has both touchdowns for Howe. So that gives him 28 on the year, 33 in his career. Wall goes in motion. Handoff, Hawthorne, right side, and he is just shy of the 50. So Some pushing and shoving going on now. Nick Wilson and Charlie Overby getting into it a little bit with some Wildcats.
Second down.
So after the 5-yard gain, it'll be 2nd down and 5. So with 33 career touchdowns now for Anthony Hawthorne, he moves right ahead of Billy Bryant Cloud, who had 32. And he's now 2nd behind Nino Falls at 41. And no chance to catch Nino unless he's going to score 8 more touchdowns tonight. Lopez, handoff, stump Matthews left side. He's got some room in a big hole. He lowers the shoulder and rolls over a defender at the 40. And he will make his way to the 38. One of the nicer runs tonight by anyone other than Hawthorne. As a first down for Howe with 36 seconds left to go in the 3rd.
Kevin Johnson made the stop for the Wildcats. .21 seconds left on the play clock.
And here is Hawthorne left side. He's got some room, and you can kiss him goodbye. Hawthorne goes 38 yards for his 3rd touchdown of the night. And with 8 seconds left to go in the 3rd, Howe now trails 57-20, awaiting the PAT.
We need to do that 8 more times. I mean, that play there caught Waskom. May have caught them napping a little bit. They acted like they weren't ready for it.
Eight seconds left to go in the 3rd. And I'll tell you what, Hawthorne has been a thrill to watch this year.
He has.
I have seen some really great running backs broadcasting over the last 20 years, but he's right up there. High snap. Easton Ross brings it in. Almost blocked, but Honecker bangs it through, and we have a new score, 57-21 here in Tyler, Texas.
Your business has a story to tell. Let Fast Signs help you tell it using the right mix of visual communication solutions like signs, banners, digital displays, vehicle graphics, mobile marketing, and so much more. Give Fast Signs your business challenge, and we'll come up with a plan to grow your business, reach more customers, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs.
Fast Signs Texoma, located at 1916 North Grand Avenue in Sherman, 903-893-SIGN. Abby's Restaurant is family owned and run. They have the cure for all your home cooking cravings. Chicken fried steak, loaded baked potato, bacon patty melt, grilled chicken salad, cheese fries, jalapeno stuffed peppers, and more. Don't forget to save room for that cheesecake and cobbler with ice cream. We know you're going to love the food and the service. Abby's Restaurant in downtown Howe. They're open from 11 to 8, Monday through Saturday. Give them a call, 903-487-8860. Abby's Restaurant.
Hi, this is...
Here's the onside kick, and it's going to be taken at the 36-yard line. And that's going to be Kevin Johnson on the recovery. So Waskom.
Kickoff is recovered by Kevin Johnson.
Now at the 36, there's 7. That only took 1 second. There's 7 seconds left. That was a 1 second kick.
1 second.
1st and 10, right to left, Waskom. And now Hawthorne with his 3rd touchdown of the night. Now has 34 career touchdowns and is 7 behind Nino Falls. So here we go, 7 touchdowns and we win this game, right?
Right.
Man in motion, new back in, and whoa, man, they are quick, right through the middle. Nick Wilson trying to chase him down, but that young man is shot out of a cannon, and he is gone. Wow. You know, and those numbers are so hard to see. I can't even tell who did it. Chan Amy. Stephen Braswell tells me Amy was on the carry. Man alive.
Wow.
64 yards. And they're on there. You know, we talked about 60. Here they are. Chavaria's extra point is good. 64, to 21. And we're entering the fourth quarter.
Abby's Restaurant is family.
Hi, this is Chris Cavender. The holidays are around the corner. Call Cavender Home Theater to get that new TV or audio system delivered and set up by our professionals. We can deliver all that plus dish with one visit by our top-notch team of installers, so you know it's done right. Competitive prices, local service you can depend on. Come see us at 6202 Texoma Parkway in Sherman, online at cavenderht.com, or give us a call, 903-892-3499. Local service is always better. Go Bulldogs!
All right.
Yeah, there was 7 seconds left on the clock when all that took place.
Wow.
That's one of them things that you just...
I'm kind of speechless if you haven't been able to tell. That was Amy on his second touchdown of the night. That one went 64 yards.
Yeah, that was another one of those where, you know, it looked like Howe might have had him in the backfield for just a brief second.
So here we go to the fourth. And a squib kick. And that'll be taken by Joaquin Lopez at the 25, and he slips right down at the 33. Feet just came out from under him. He was going to try to make a move, but he fell right backwards. And Howe will take over at their own 33.
Dylan Hudson with the tackle.
With, looks like 11:56 left to go in the fourth.
33-yard line, first down.
Waskom up to 506 yards. All rushing on offense.
Holy cow.
506 yards.
You know, and
Hawthorne has 183 yards on 21 carries. Here's Hawthorne again, right side. And he has no quit in him as he gains 4 yards, trying to do everything on his own here.
Handoff goes to Hawthorne.
I don't want to take anything away from the offensive line because they've done an absolute fabulous job all season long. But Hawthorne, when he takes on a defender, he really takes him on.
Right. Kyle Adams and Shane Amy in on the stop for the Wildcats.
Second down and 6 coming up. 11:26 left to go in the game. And Waskom up 64-21. Lopez comes to the line of scrimmage. Brandon Wall goes in motion. Handoff. Nope, they're going to flip it out to Wall. A long flip, and he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a half a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Dylan Benton made the stop for the Wildcats.
They'll give him a yard. It's more like a couple of inches.
That was a long pitch.
Very long.
That's one of them pitches that you just hate to see.
Kevin Johnson comes up a little bit gimpy on the play. I don't think he's really injured, but he does come off to the sideline and just falls down as he just wobbled and hobbled off. Here comes Howe on 3rd and 5. And this is going to be Lopez, who's knocked down. I thought he was going to try to keep it, but he's knocked down in the backfield. It's going to be a loss. 4th and 8 coming up after the loss. And just nothing looking good at this point. And the punt team will come in again. Third punt for Howe here in the second half. As Waskom, when they scored right before the half, it just deflated the Bulldogs. Overby with a kick that goes kind of off the side of the foot. It's going to go inside the 30. Actually about the 38, be spotted right there at the 38. And with 9:52 left to go in the game, we'll see if Howe can hold Waskom off the board, as if they score again, it'll be 70. The most points Howe had given up in a playoff game, as we mentioned earlier on, was 46. That was to Louisville back in 1940. Well, that's been broken. Yeah, Louisville. Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville. There's a lot of people in Louisville now.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, if they scored 46 back in 1940, I would think there's some pretty good athletes back then in Louisville.
Yeah, no kidding.
9:52 left to go in the game. Left to right goes Waskom on 1st and 10. Lots of new backs into the game. This is going to be a toss. Left side, making a nice cut and move is going to be Haynes. And Junebug Johnson in at quarterback for Waskom now. As Felder makes the stop for Howe. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, it looks like Amy and Kevin Johnson are sitting right down here on the bench. Maybe Trey Stevens sitting down here all together.
Matt Padron will check in.
But like like the sheet said, Waskom's got 6 players that are 600 plus.
Here's a handoff left side, spinning out of a tackle. Jukin is Victor Tapia. He's a 5'10", 170 sophomore. And he'll move the sticks.
Andrew Griffin.
As he makes his way to midfield. 8:59 left to go in this game. Man.
Yeah, it looks like, looked like a number 27 run in, but I don't see him on our list here. So maybe I need to put my glasses back on.
It appears Howe's going to go to 11, 16, and 3 as a record in the playoffs. Here's a toss to the right side, and once again, that's the big fullback, Victor Tapia. And this time he'll be met in the backfield, a loss of a yard.
Mike Heppenstall made the stop for the Bulldogs.
Victor Tapia, the ball carrier.
So now we have, as we mentioned, a new playoff high given up in points. We mentioned that Louisville scored 46 on Howe back in 1940. That game was played in Denton ISD Stadium. Back then they called it Teachers College Stadium.
Yeah, that's right.
2nd and 10. As Haynes goes in motion, he gets the toss. Now he comes back near side. Escapes one defender and makes a move to the 40. He's got the 35. He's got the 30. Cutting it back inside. He breaks about 7 tackles to the 20-yard line. What a run by Haynes as he picks up 30 yards on his way to the 20. He made Nick Wilson miss. He made Overby miss.
Andrew Griffin missed him.
Wow.
It's just...
there is no drop-off from their first team backs to their second team backs. They all look exactly alike.
Yes.
They're very, very quick. Every one of them. 7:08 on the clock. Junebug Johnson under center, tosses right side, and escaping through, maybe breaking one tackle and down at the 12-yard line is going to be Lucas Norton.
I can't even keep up anymore. I mean, they've run so many different kids in and out. I mean,
and they all look the same.
They do.
They're all fast. I'd like to know what kind of quickness program they're on over there in Waskom, because
boy, they got some quick feet, don't they?
All of them. They all have such quickness. 6:27 to go. Junebug Johnson under center, sends a man in motion. That's Haynes. He gets the toss again. This time he carries it right up the middle and makes his way to the 8-yard line.
Levi Merzinski in on the stop for the Bulldogs.
They'll take him to the 7, actually. And that'll bring up a 1st and goal.
It's 1st and goal.
And, Waskom's knocking on the door of 70 right here.
Yeah, they are.
But you know what? Even if they do score 70, Howe has nothing to hang their head about.
They don't. These kids, this group of kids, they're all great kids. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
Johnson under center, sends a man in motion, toss again, and this time flags will fly as
I think time may run off the clock. Look, the clock may be
false start.
Oh,
dead ball.
Yeah, false start against Waskom. And that'll back them up there. So that'll put the ball at about the 12. And it'll be first and goal from the 12 with 5:37 and rolling here, and that might have been a touchdown by Haynes. But we'll see here as Waskom sends 2 receivers out wide left. Johnson goes under center. Man in motion. Junebug Johnson's going to keep it, running around the right edge. He's got the 10, he's got the 5, he's got the touchdown. And Waskom has 70. This one might sting just a little bit, but again, Howe has nothing to hang their heads about.
You know, unfortunately, you know, you get this far. Everybody's, like Coach Hudson said, everybody at this level
Everybody's
of the
good.
game is good.
And then there's some that are exceptional, and Waskom is exceptional. 71-21. Waskom in the lead. 5:11 left to go in this football game.
For my family, life is a series of celebrations, from my newest born cousin to my grandmother. We all partake in births, weddings, and funerals. Wherever we celebrate, we need to feel welcome. That's why we choose Scoggins Funeral Home in Howe. Scoggins Funeral Home understands our needs. Talk to the caring staff at Scoggins Funeral Home. Call 903-532-5577 or visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
GCEC Wireless, located in Van Alstyne off of exit 51, can help you with all your Verizon wireless needs. They have a wide range of products and services, including smartphones, wireless home and mobile internet, wireless home phone service, and accessories. They're also your local DirecTV dealer. So come on by or call them at 903-712-2355. That's GCEC Wireless. And go Bulldogs!
Well, we may be sitting at another record here. This is a record-breaking year, I tell you. Here's an onside kick, and Quentin Harris is going to bobble it a little bit, but it's going to be taken at the 31-yard line, and Howe will take over there.
Kickoff covered by Quentin Harris.
Let's see, there's,
Ball spotted at the
let me get back on track here. 5:11 on the clock as I'm all over the place here. 71-21. That's what I was going to mention. Howe gave up 71 points to Van Alstyne back in 1992. And I am pretty certain that's the most points Howe's given up.
We had a flag on that play. I think it was just offsides on the kickoff.
Well, this does tie. The most points Howe has ever given up in a football game ever since 1935 is 71 points. That was to Van Alstyne on September 4th of 92. And this team has tied it here. Here's Stump Matthews up the middle. And he's got 9 yards up to the 46.
Handoff goes to Tristan Matthews.
So 71 points ties another record, except this one in the non-positive way. Howe giving up 71 points in a football game. Definitely don't want to break the record here. 4:49 left to go. Brandon Wall in motion. Handoff Hawthorne. Right side gets a block from Keith Rogers. And Hawthorne drags a defender for another 10 yards. And he'll pick up a first down at the 42-yard line in Waskom territory.
Dylan Benton made the stop for the Wildcats. You know, I have to agree with you. There's nothing that they have nothing, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of.
You know, and what I love here is they still, at the end, are hustling to the line of scrimmage as Hawthorne's brought down for a 1-yard loss. Still, to the very end, they're fighting. You know, they're known for breaking the huddle and sprinting to the line of scrimmage. And here, down 50 in the regional championship game with only 4 minutes to go, they break the huddle and they sprint to the line of scrimmage, just like in week 1 against Bonham. You know, when we saw this football team for the first time in Bonham, you know, you knew it was different. You knew things were going to be different as they had 3 ball carriers with nearly 100 yards that night. Here's going to be Stump Matthews. He falls forward for about 3 yards, and a 4th down coming up. Or actually, it's 3rd and 9 coming up.
No, these.
We didn't know that Hawthorne was going to be what he turned out to be. No one knew that. Maybe Dale West envisioned that, but no one expected 2,000 yards in a single season. Hawthorne goes in motion. He gets the hand coming near side. Looking for 9 yards. He makes the 40 and goes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Not going to have enough for the first down. It's going to be 4th and about 3. And, at this point, you're in Waskom territory. You might as well just go for it.
That's right.
It's 3:01 on the clock. He does go out of bounds, which stops the clock. But, you might as well go down swinging. There's no need to do anything else right here. Just go down swinging. And Quentin Harris will bring in the play. It's 4th and 3, and you'd love to see him punch it across this first down marker and keep going. They break the huddle. They sprint to the line of scrimmage. Brandon Wall goes under center. Toss right side. Hawthorne gets a block from Stump Matthews. Breaks through 2 defenders and can't get the first down. He stopped a yard short.
He tried, and and that is. You can't ask for anything more than giving everything you have.
That is probably Anthony Hawthorne's last carry as a Howe Bulldog, and he fought and fought and fought for a first down and came up a yard short, much like this team has tonight. They fought and fought, but they're going to come up just a little bit short in this football game. 2:54 left to go in the game, down 71-21. And talk about heart and all those things, and you've got to be just so proud of these dogs.
Yes, you do.
They went 3-7 last year. If you want to start griping about tonight, now's not the time.
Right. They went 3-7 last year. They were in a different district than they got this year, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody because they got one of the best staffs I've seen in a long time.
That's absolutely correct. And, you'd like to see what Howe could have done in a different district last year. Obviously, they were up against a mountain in that district.
That was a big mountain for 2 years.
Yep.
They fought that big mountain.
That's a fact.
And but they have done a fantastic job this year, every one of them.
2nd down and 1, man in motion. And Junebug Johnson hands off up the middle, picks up the first down at the 45. And that's Tapia, I believe, on the carry. And that'll be a new fresh set of downs. And 2:12 on the clock here in Tyler, Texas.
We were
JP Queen, first down.
When we started this season, it was good from day one.
The Bulldogs faced some tough competition along the way. You look back at some of those games against Lindsay and Gunner and
Gunner was tough.
Pottsboro. Those are good football teams, and it prepared them for these games against Cooper and Hughes Springs, and that's what Coach Hudson wanted. And Junebug Johnson's going to take a knee here with 1:36 on the clock, and they're just going to kill it.
Looks like. And speaking of Pottsboro, which was a game for us. Pottsboro beat Whitesboro 37-14. So it looks like they play another week.
Tomorrow, Gunner will take on S&S at Denison. And Gunner is expected to win that football game, but you just never know.
That's right. It's playoff time. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Nobody thought S&S would be where they are right now, but hey, they just keep fighting too.
Right. And, I'd like to, I got a brief second here. I don't know that he probably listening, but would want to wish Garrett Patterson, the best of luck. He was here at Howe a couple of years ago, and he leads those ramps tomorrow. So, Coach Patterson, we wish you well.
3rd and 14 here as Waskom keeps downing the football. We're at 38 seconds, so one more snap will do it. And there it is. Howe, your Bulldogs have lost this regional championship game tonight, 71-21, but What a year it's been. You've got to tip your hat to these kids. God bless them. They have really brought this town together.
Yes, they have.
And what a fall it's been. And with all these freshmen and sophomores on this football team, the future is oh so bright. We'll be back in a moment.
Think back to the best fried pie you've ever had. It won't compare to Sweetie Pies in Van Alstyne. They have handmade apricot, apple, peach, buttermilk, chocolate, coconut, and lemon fried pies that melt in your mouth. Located at 120 South Main Street in Van Alstyne on the east side of downtown. Give them a call at 903-712-PIES. That's 903-712-7437. Sweetie Pies can also make custom Howe cookies, muffins, and other baked goods.
Well, we come back to Tyler, Texas, as the Bulldogs in all white making their way to the far side as some of the seniors just take their helmets off and raise them up to the crowd. As you know, the Bulldog fans are faithful and they've stayed through the whole game on the far side. And we're just about ready for the fight song and the school song. And let's just celebrate right now and let's listen to all of that. Have a little bit of bleed over from the Waskom school song. Big round of applause from the Bulldog fans on the far side. The Bulldogs will huddle around their head coach. Zach Hudson has done such a tremendous job with this football program since he got here. Not only can he build a stadium, he can win football games too.
Yes, he can.
At the first of the year, I called him the salesman. And he's much more than that. He is quite the football coach. And he has taken this program from 3-7 one year to 7-6 in a regional champion or regional finals game the next year, and an area champions, by-district champions. No one thought this would happen in the second year, but here they are. You know, they faced all kinds of odds. They brought in a new offense. Coach Zach Hudson hired a brand new staff. He said it was the best hire he's ever made. And, you know, hey, the proof is in the pudding. Here they are in the regional championship game. And, you know, yeah, they lost pretty big tonight by a really good football team. And I'm not sure these boys won't be playing in 3 weeks. That's one of the most impressive teams I've seen, as they just score at will. They do whatever they want to with the football because they're so fast. In football, remember this, it's not about size. It's not about how big you are. It's about how fast you are. That's what football is all about. A lot of people have a misconception that it's about how big you are. Speed beats big every time, and this is one of the fastest teams I have ever seen as they raise the gold trophy. Congratulations to the Waskom Wildcats. They are the better team tonight, as they did everything they needed to do to win this football game, and they did it in fine fashion. But tip your hats to the Howe Bulldogs. They're having a long conversation with their head coach right now on that far side at about the 22-yard line. And I'm sure there's lots of tears, especially from the seniors. Let's talk about some of those seniors. Let's start with Anthony Hawthorne. Where do you begin with Anthony Hawthorne? 2,000 yards this year.
Anthony is going to be one. Anthony's going to be one that's going to be hard to replace.
Yeah, you can't replace 2,000 yards. 34 career touchdowns. 29 of them this year. He goes over the 2,000-yard mark at the half. I tell you what, this young man has just been a thrill to watch. He's just about at the top or near the top of every rushing category there is in Howe history. And then you check down to Easton Ross, the cornerback, made 3 interceptions against Tom Bean, had a big one a couple of weeks back against Cooper. Joaquin Lopez, the senior quarterback, you know, his speed will be definitely missed, and his vocal leadership in the locker room. Quentin Harris will be missed as a wideout and cornerback. Caleb Ake, the split out all season long. You'll say goodbye to Charles Overby, the punter, the outstanding linebacker, and the outstanding left guard. Overby is always on the field, and what a talent and just a great young man. Josh Griffin, you'll say goodbye to the left tackle. That'll be a big one to have to replace.
Yep.
Chase Anderson's going to be missed, 6 foot, 240 pounds. You've got Kiefer Rogers, your right guard, 6 foot, 225, and he cleared the way for Anthony Hawthorne a lot of the time this year. And Tyler Davies, who saw a lot of action, 6'1", 185, he'll also be missed. What you are getting back, Andrew Griffin, the freshman, Dylan Moreau, the freshman, Bryce Honecker, the freshman, Jacob Taylor, the freshman, Clay Marshall, the freshman. All of those were huge contributors. They weren't just freshmen on varsity, they were big players on varsity.
Yes, they were.
You get sophomore Jaden Matthews, who made his way up from JV. You get Brandon Wall, who stepped in for Stratton Carroll. You get Tyler Grisham. You get J.P. McQueen, who made his way up to the varsity after just dominating JV. You get Brent Masters, who was brought up at the end of the year from JV. You get Mike Helpenstell, who did an outstanding job on defense, replacing Ty Portman and others. You get Tanner Hartsfield back, your center, and maybe the most important position in that offense. The ball starts there, and you get Matt Griffin, the huge tight end. And the juniors coming back, Nick Wilson. You get Dalton Felder back, Levi Merzinski. Michael Carrer comes back, Zach Blevins, Stratton Carroll. Hopefully he'll be 100% when he comes back. Ty Portman is a junior. Tristan Matthews, Stump Matthews will be back. Hunter Morrow. Joel Minivar, I hope that young man is fully recovered by then. Austin Bearden, the big defensive tackle, played a great defensive tackle in the last half of the season. 6'3", 250 pounds. Cody Baker, 5'10", 230, he'll be back. And that rounds out all of those that will return in 2015. I just want to say thanks to Michael Mosier and Stephen Braswell for all you've done this year. Y'all have been outstanding. I can't say enough. And you know, I called you back in the summer and said, hey, I think we're going to do this, and you guys were on board, and I just appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
I've never done anything like this, but hopefully they'll let me back in. Maybe you think you'll let us come back, Steve?
I think y'all are definitely in. As long as they'll let us do this again next year, I just can't wait. It's been a blast.
It has been.
2015, the future is oh so bright. I see a video coming up from that. Maybe Coach Hudson wearing some sunglasses.
There you go.
Well, I'll try to put that together.
You can talk him into it. I bet you can do it.
Well, tonight, Howe gives up a school record 71 points, but it's been a wonderful ride all the way to the regional finals. And I tell you what, it couldn't have been more electric with the victory lights and the rushing records and the rushing touchdown records and just the entire community coming together to support this football team. It's been a great ride. For everyone who's been a part of this one, it's been one awesome year. For Stephen Braswell, for Michael Mosier, I'm Monty Walker. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to Howe Bulldogs Football. Howe Bulldogs Football has been brought to you by
Abby's Restaurant, GCEC Wireless, Scoggins Funeral Home, Buck Snort Barbecue,